Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and today I am bringing you a very epic and close battle in Total War Attila. It is a 3 vs 3, and it's about 15 minutes long. I'm just going to give you guys a little warning, though. There is quite a bit of lag, and that really doesn't have anything to do with my new PC. This is a battle replay that I've been saving for quite a while because I've wanted to show it, but every time I come on, it's just something with the replay that does cause it to lag quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is really utilize the slow motion as much as I can, and I really hope that it doesn't ruin the replay for you. It was pretty epic and pretty close. But enough of that. You can see that I've got my beautiful Danish warriors moving forwards here. So yes, I think I'm playing actually as the Jutes, not the Danes. I'm pretty sure that's what their sigil is, but we'll find out at the end of the battle. But let's go ahead and take a look at the army compositions first off. So if we kind of zoom out here, I've got 3 units of Nordic hurlers, and then I have 5 units of Nordic spearmasters, and these guys are really awesome. I love these red and white shields that they have, and they're pretty elite. They're tier 3 spear infantry. And then in behind that, I have 5 units of these Royal Huscarls. And I've got to be really careful with them. They've got really low missile block chance. So if I get them in range of some archers, they will be picked apart. But if I can get them into melee quick enough, they should do very well against enemy infantry. And then my general over... my general over here is a Nordic raid leader. So I'm moving him forwards. And then I believe I have 6 units of cav, and they're all Viking Raider Cavalry Tier 2, and they're completely upgraded with triple gold chevrons. So I think this was a pretty high money battle. I believe it was probably something like 16k or something like that. Taking a look at my allies over here, you can see that I've got the Western Roman Empire on my right, and he's just bringing a ton of Herculeani Signores. I believe 9 units of them. And then he has a mix of archers here, but he does have a pretty strong archer presence. He's got 4 units of elite Ballistariae, and then he has some Sagittariae right here. It's just a very light bow infantry, nothing special. And then for his cavalry, he's got 5 units back here of the Scolae Gentiles and Equites Dalmatae.
The enemy has been
and
sighted.
They are completely upgraded as well, so bringing some shock and melee cavalry. And then over to my left, we have the Langobards. So they've got some cavalry that we're already pushing on the flanks, some Tafali cavalry. If we zoom on down here, we've got some elite Germanic archers, some Germanic crossbowmen. So a good mix there as well of archers and crossbows. And then he's bringing some Germanic spearmasters. Again, really, really elite spears. So they look pretty sweet. And then he's got some Godin's Chosen triple chevron upgrades. These are going to be the most elite units on our team for sure. These guys are amazing. I'm sure if you've seen my siege battle, I believe I called it like the Siege of Blood or something. It was really mainly won by these Godin's Chosen. And then he's got some more Godin's Chosen back here. You can tell it's a high money battle when they bring 4 units of Godin's Chosen completely upgraded. And then there's a Godin's Warlord as well. So let's take a look at the enemy armies. So 2 of them have actually moved into this section of the woods over here, and you can see one is way over on the flanks all alone. But let's start with the Eastern Roman Empire here, the Western Roman Empire. So he's got 4 units of Cornuti Signores, and then he has 3 units of elite Ballistariae. And then for his cav, he's got a lot of these cataphractories, so these are really heavy shock cav. They're only tier 2. There is a more elite shock cavalry that you can bring, but they still will hold their own in melee. And then he's got some Equites Promoti, and he's got his Master Militum over here. And then he's got a ton of Herculeani Signores. I think he's got 4 units of them, and then 4 units of elite Palatina. We can take a look at them too. They look pretty cool. Good staple Roman infantry. And then we have the Eastern Roman Empire over here in a big clump too, so we'll kind of just look at what he's bringing. He's got some Palatina guards for his general, and he's got some Tagmata cavalry, some Climinari. He's got some Hetarie guard, really good axes. He's also got some Numeroi as well, mixed in. And he's kind of lining up in these trees to face our forces. In front, he's got some Eastern Armored Legio as well. So you can see them all ready to go. And that's pretty much all he's brought. And let's take a look at the last force over here. That's the Ostrogoths. So he's got some noble Germanic horsemen over on this flank, which he's bringing forwards to attack us with. And we've got some elite Germanic archers, 5 units of them. Actually, he's got 6, yes. Actually, 7. Sorry about that. And then he's got 7 units of these Germanic spearmasters. And then he's got more Germanic horsemen over here with the Royal Siones. So basically, if we kind of zoom out and take a look at the battle map, so I've got my one ally over here, the Langobards. He's going to be squaring off almost solely against these two players over here. And then for me in the center, I've kind of split my forces, so I've got half of them that are facing the other way, and then I'm going to send a lot of my cav over against these noble Germanic horsemen. You can see we're already charging in here. And I do kind of make a little bit of a mistake here. You can see that I'm clumping a lot of my cavalry into one flank over here, which really wasn't necessary. I think I only needed about one or 2 units maximum. But I'm moving forwards with 3 other units to kind of surround this Ostrogothic player so that he can't move back to his allies. I really want to get rid of this Ostrogothic player quickly. And you can see, looks like he's already getting some good charges into the elite Ballistari of the Western Roman Empire. So he's going to have to be careful there. Let's go ahead and maybe see if we can put it on play, but it will be pretty laggy. But yeah, we've got these elite Germanic archers here. They've got excellent range. And it looks like fire arrows are being transferred from both sides. So he's got a good setup there, and you can see all of his Germanic spearmasters over here are really trying to zone out my enemy cav. But I believe I'm just moving them way around the flanks here to go after his general. You can see he's pulling back some of his archers to help out. And I'm moving forward some of my Royal Huscarls over onto this flank to tackle these Germanic spearmasters. And we've just got a massive amount of Herculones Signores that are coming down into the flanks here. So a really, really epic battle. You can see why I just didn't want to delete this replay. Even though it's laggy, it's still epic to see the gameplay. But yeah, he's pushing forwards more of his Spearmasters to try to really take out my cavalry. Let's go ahead and just pop that onto slow motion again and take a look at what's going on the other flank. So yeah, the Langobards have the toughest job on our team because he's going to have to deal with the Eastern and the Western Roman Empire. You can see we've got some of the Germanic Spearmasters up against the Hatarier Guard, which is not a situation I would want to find myself in. These Hatarier Guard with their giant axes really do a lot of damage. But you can see in the background there the Godin's Chosen moving forwards, but they're getting just picked apart by those axes. But there they go. They're starting to charge into melee against the Carnuti Spears, I believe. We zoom on over here. Ooh, they're getting hit really hard in the flank, though. He's just so outnumbered. That's really the main problem. Some of the Godin's Chosen being slain by these Roman warriors. Let's move on to the other flank over here and turn on the HUD. You can see that I am going to try and help my Langobardic ally as well. So my army's kind of split between 2 fronts right now, but I really just didn't want the Langobards to have to shoulder all of this on their own. So what I'm doing is really kind of just tying up a lot of this very elite infantry for the Eastern Roman Empire so that they can't use it to reinforce their Western Roman allies. So I've got my spears moving forwards here. You can see the shields about to clash. He's kind of going in on an angle a little bit. But I've got my spears over here. And I believe I've got some of my my Royal Huscarls over here as well, fighting against the cavalry. Now, I did make another mistake here by having these guys kind of undefended, and the Eastern Roman Empire cavalry did go in for a good charge, and I didn't really have any other units to soak up the charge except for these Royal Huscarls, and they don't really handle charges from shock cavalry very well. But now that they're in melee, they should be doing some decent damage against the Eastern Roman Empire. And is that... oh no, that must just be the commander there. I thought that might have been the general, but I don't think it is. He's just kind of the leader of that unit. But yeah, you can see my cavalry is pretty victorious over here. I've managed to pull a lot of them out. And over here, we're starting to break the Germanic Spearmasters. And I'm getting in behind his archers as well with my Viking Raider cavalry. But over on this flank, I'm starting to lose my cavalry as well. And just look at these archers. They are relentless in their fire. He actually has a really good position for a lot of these archers. Put this on play here. Yeah, the battle is extremely laggy. But it just depends sometimes on the replays. Because I find if the game is really laggy, sometimes the replays are pretty cut and dry, and other times the replays are just as bad as the gameplay itself. But yeah, we're just steamrolling through these Germanic Spearmasters. They're really kind of outnumbered. You can see we're breaking them over there as well. Some good charges from the Equites Dalmatae moving in there as well. But my cavalry is breaking.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
But I've got my cavalry over here around this flank. You can see that I'm trying to swoop in around. I've already pinned down this Tagmata cavalry that was fighting my Royal Huscarls. And the Eastern Auxilia Palatina is having a tough time. The Armored Legio is holding a little bit better, though, against my spears. But you can see that the Western Roman Empire has pretty much obliterated most of the Langobards' forces. We've actually got the Master Militum for the Western Roman Empire moving in for a charge as well. Let's kind of zoom down in here and take a look at the Godin's Chosen, or the Godin's Warlords, sorry, fighting against the Eastern Roman Empire. They're still fighting the Satarier Guard here. They're being flanked around by more of the Eastern Roman Empire's soldiers. Take a look at what's going on my flank here. Yeah, so I'm bringing my general in to melee as well. Again, I just want to get him into melee because if I don't, then he's just going to be picked apart by archer fire. But we've got the spears fighting the Eastern Armored Legio here. You can see the iconic banner for the Eastern Roman Empire. Maybe inspiring their men to fight a little bit more. I just love the shields for these Danish factions, though. They're just so bright and colorful.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
But yeah, you can see I've got my slingers in behind as well, so they're getting some good focus fire down on some of this cavalry that's trying to get in behind our lines. So if we zoom up and take a look, you can see that a lot of the Langobardic infantry is being overrun. And this cavalry is starting to pick apart our Germanic archers and Germanic crossbows. So I'm trying to focus down them with my slingers, which are still in a pretty well-defended position. Because in these trees here, I'm doing well at holding back all of the Eastern Roman infantry. And if we kind of move around to the other side, you can still see that the Ostrogothic player is fighting for his life. He's still alive.
Our allies have lost their general.
And
they are shaken.
Well, I think that that was the Langobardic general. But you can see that the Herculeane Seniores for the Western Roman Empire is moving away from this fight. I guess they feel that they've kind of wrapped things up here, so to speak. But I wouldn't be so sure. A lot of his Scholae Gentiles and Equites Dalmente, they're wavering against the might of the general with his Germanic Spearmasters as well. Another good charge into these archers, though, just trying to silence them. They've been relentless through this entire battle. It'll be good to see how many kills they got at the end, because he did have a very good position to of protection for his archers, especially fighting two different armies at the same time. But yeah, we're doing well there. Yeah, we're just trying to chase down these archers, but there's no way we're going to be able to catch them. And I'm moving my 2 units of Royal Huscarls away from that battle. I don't want them to be picked apart needlessly. And what do we got going on over here? The Warlord is still fighting, Godin's Warlord. He's down to 29 men, and he's starting to waver now at this point. But let's take a look at these Germanic Spearmasters that are still holding well against the Western Roman infantry.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
Got some more breaking men as well. Looks like we've got some of the Godin's Chosen in here. That's a Godin's Chosen unit right there in the midst of all the Centaurier Guard, and he was just slaughtered by these great axes. And let's see. Let's try and put it on play a little bit for the gameplay sounds and the fighting. The slingers are still trying to put down the hurt, but it's only a matter of time before they're overrun by the Tagmata cavalry as well. We zip on over here. Yeah, you can see that they've pretty much just broken through. But I think, is that some of my cav? No, that's also Eastern Roman Empire cavalry. But the balance of power is still in our favor, just barely. It's 3,500 men to 3,100 men, but look at how fast that man count is dropping for both sides. And yes, my general was completely surrounded, and he was slaughtered by this influx of cavalry. So that's a really sad sight for my forces. But really, it's down to our Western Roman Empire player, but luckily he is still very healthy from his fight with the Ostrogoths. You can see most of his forces are still alive. There's just a few archer units that we're having a really hard time chasing down, but they are starting to waver, which is good. And the Herculeane Signores are moving into engage. They've got their Pila ready to go against this cavalry. Archers are quickly trying to retreat behind the Eastern Roman lines. So we got some of the cavalry flanking around through the trees. And yeah, a lot of my Royal Huscarls are starting to break now. We can go ahead and put this on slow motion so we can see this charge of the Herculeane Signores into these axes that are very depleted. Also getting cut down by archer fire as well. There they go, pushing forwards. This was a pretty large-scale battle as well, so I can understand the lag. But sometimes the replay is just too good to just delete it because there's lag. I'd rather just have it up on my channel for your guys' enjoyment as well, instead of just getting rid of it. And as troops start to die as well, it's not too bad. Oh! We've got some of the Centaurier Guard retreating, and this Royal Huskar with his massive axe is just having a heyday. Over here as well, getting some good last-minute kills. Trying to look for any more that might be filtering through. This guy's probably gonna die here. Oh, yeah, grab his shield, pull it down, and there you go. And he is dead. And there go the rest of my Royal Huscarls into melee. The Western Roman Empire player, he was really trying to form up the rest of his soldiers, as you can see. But I'm pushing forwards with my Royal Huscarls into the mix to try to slow this Reformation down. because the more units I can break, just like these numeroi, which I'm doing with my Royal Huscarls, the easier it's going to be for the Western Roman Empire to claim victory. But I'm just going to give you guys an overview again. He does have some cavalry over here. He has 3 other units of Herculianae Seniores that will be moving over soon, but he actually forgot about these during the battle. He didn't know that he had them. So he's going to walk them over, but I don't think that they make it in time. But he does have a lot of his archers left too, which will be really helpful in kind of tearing down that final defense.
This is a shameful display.
And I'm just trying to herd the rest of the the Ostrogothic archers into the mix as well, so that they don't get in behind our men. But yeah, here come the Western Roman Empire forces again, getting a good charge. Looks like we've got some Cornuti spears pushing forwards. They're trying to see the spear is doing a good thing for the rest of the men, sacrificing them so that the rest of the army can kind of pull back to the safety of the second defense. And he still does have a decent amount of units, as you can see here. We put this on slow motion here so we can get a little bit smoother of a camera movement. Yeah, he's got a lot of Herculianae Seniores that are still very healthy. Some more elite Palatina. He's pulling back his archers finally in behind his lines. So if we look at the man count, he's still got about 2,000 men here, so pretty healthy. And we've got 2,400. And the Western Roman Empire is not even slowing down here. He's going to be pushing forwards his infantry into the lines of the Western and Eastern Roman Empire. A lot of this cavalry is trying to break us over here, but I'm holding them with my Nordic Spearmasters and my Royal Huscarls. You can see my Royal Huscarls kind of in the center here, fighting against this cavalry. Go ahead and turn off the HUD and zoom in. See if we can see any good cavalry kill animations. There we go. Nice. That guy just used his shield, hit the Eastern Roman cavalry men right off his horse. Yeah, they're getting slaughtered. So my army is holding, but just barely. And it's really started to swing into our favor now. 2,300 to 1,700. The Western Roman Empire, Herculianae Seniores are taking on their brothers. It's a little Roman versus Roman action over here on this front line. But I do believe that our allies, Herculianae Seniores, will do better. These ones, I believe that the general is dead for the Western Roman Empire, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe not. No, he's still alive. But it says that their morale is pretty terrible at this point.
The enemy has found our concealed units.
Oh, we've got some good line battles forming up here. Looks like we're going to have a charge here from some Comes. No, he changed his mind. Yeah, he doesn't want to lose his general this late in the battle when it's so crucial that he hold on to his general. He's going to charge in over here instead and kind of deplete the rest of the cataphractory. I'm sending in my one of my last units of Royal Huscarls, but you can see they're just getting picked apart by archer fire again. You have to be really careful about that kind of thing with these heavy axe units. But yeah, just really pushing in on the flanks. And yeah, this is pretty much where the battle ends. It's slipping into our favor, so I think it's quite obvious who will win. But this battle definitely wasn't won easily. If we kind of just zoom out and you can kind of hover over the battlefield, like look at all of these dead soldiers all throughout this battlefield, all through the forest as well, where the archers are kind of reforming. And then over on these hilltops here, you can see a lot of the Ostrogoths that have been destroyed. And yeah, the last of the Western Roman Empire soldiers are moving forwards.
Our men have given up and are running for their lives.
But yeah, the Western Roman Empire Herculeani Seniores are now starting to waver. We've got the general for the Eastern Roman Empire engaged. And I'm not sure what the Western Roman Empire general is planning to do, but let's go ahead and jump into his unit. I'm sure he's just riding past the lines of his men and trying to inspire them to hold on for longer. But, yeah, I don't know how much he's going to be able to do at this point, unfortunately. Oh, it looks like he's going to try to commit on this flank. Our allies were winning quite heavily on this flank, so I think he's just trying to control it as best as he can. Because, yeah, you can see that they're starting to waver. They're down to 40 men, so there's not much else they're going to be able to do there. But they are breaking us in the center, which is quite concerning. I've got a couple units of spears that have now made it into melee. And we've got the general's bodyguard, but that's pretty much all the cav that we have left here. And it looks like the Master Militum is going to try to go and eliminate these elite Germanic archers. But I would just start firing with these crossbows into that general. But the man count's still pretty close, 1,700 to 1,100, so we only have a 600-man advantage at this point. Let's see how well my spears are doing against these Herculeani Seniores. Pushing them back.
Our ally has been destroyed.
Yeah, I believe that is the Langobards have been destroyed, but they've served their purpose. They fought well. They've held the enemies, the massive amount of enemies, for us to be able to eliminate the Ostrogoths quickly enough. So he was the real MVP of the day. But that's the thing that I really try to do when I see that one enemy deploys farther away from the rest, is I really try to capitalize on that. Because if you're not going to stick together with your allies, then there's no chance they're going to be able to send help for you. So usually if I'm in the center, I'll try to divide both sides. So it's kind of 1.5 versus 2 on this side. But then there's 1.5 versus 1 over on the other side. So it kind of balances it out and makes for a pretty fun and close gameplay, just like this. But down to the last 2 minutes, we've got 875 men left. I think that this general is really being focused down by these crossbows. Again, that's probably what I would do, but it looks like he's trying to, or I'm trying to block him with my spears. He does get a good charge off, though. And he's going to be firing into this general a little bit too late, unfortunately. He does get a decent charge off onto these crossbows. But down to the last minute and 48, I'm just going to pop this on play for a little bit so we can get closer to the end. But this general's doing really well. just really eliminated, like these elite Ballistariae, they had almost full ammo. So they could have been very useful in taking down some more infantry. And he's just continuing on, not even slowing down. He's moving right into the backs of my spears, which are causing some major problems for me. Given that I only have like two units left. But I've broken one of the units of Herculeani Seniores just in time. And the general for the Western Roman Empire was broken as well. And now the rest of his soldiers are pretty much wavering at this point. Let's see the last of them off here with the battle sounds. I do appreciate in Warhammer 2 when you do go into slow motion how you still kind of have that battle music and stuff. So I think in future historical titles too, it would be good to keep that, so that when we go into slow motion, maybe you still can hear the battle sounds, but it's just in a slower version. and you kind of have like the dull music in the background. That was a really nice touch. But yeah, more Herculeane Signores coming in to support my spears, but I don't think that it's necessary at this point. We're doing very well against these Herculeane Signores. They're really getting quite depleted. Oh, snap. Yeah, the Herculeane Signores for my ally coming in pretty heavily on the flank there. And there we go, a Pyrrhic victory. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know it was pretty framey, but like I said, I didn't want to get rid of this this battle. It was really epic to play. And funnily enough, I know that it was only 15 minutes on the battle timer, but I think it took us about 45 minutes to actually play the battle. But yeah, so there's me. Yes, I was right in playing with the Jutes. So taking a look at my kills, pretty good for the Spearmasters, really good for the Royal Huscarls, 376 with this one unit here. And my cavalry doing pretty well. Looking at the Western Roman Empire, my ally, a lot of his Herculeane Signores getting 200 plus kills. So that's really good. Did well with his archers and his cavalry. And then the Hunted playing as the Langobards with his Godin's Chosen. Yeah, decent kills there. Even though they were being fired upon from behind, they still managed to get 215, 250, 208 for their kills. Spearmaster's doing okay. Archer's doing pretty well. And his Cav, not so much. But again, he was pretty outnumbered. And then let's start with the Ostrogoths. So he was the one who deployed kind of separate from his allies, but his spears not doing the best. Some of his archers doing okay, but others not so much. And his cavalry, a couple of them doing all right, but they were just so outnumbered. That's really the main problem there. And then Dubas 11111 as Western Romans, 329 with his generals, so really good there. His elite Palatina also doing pretty solid all around the board, I would say, with him. And then Reggie 4G63 as the Eastern Romans. Really good with his Atarier Guard. Oh, and he gets the most kills with his Atarier Guard. 376 with my Royal Huscarls. So really close engagement there. But his Cav doing well as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more Attila battles in the future. And I will see you in the next one.